This week on Seagar's Extreme Kayak Fishing Challenge, we're in Venice, Louisiana, hooking up with the Mexican Gulf Fishing Company to put our kayak fishing skills to the test. We're going after some big yellowfin tuna. Don't go away, we've got a great show in store.
We're just waiting on the man, the myth, the monolith, Kevin Beach, to take us out on his giant kayak. We're doing extreme kayak fishing today on this extreme kayak here called the Pale Horse. Of course, as is typical, the weather went sideways on us and it's just really snotty out there. So we decided, you know, we can either sit around and do nothing or we can just go fish off the boat. So you know what? We're going fishing off the boat today.
I'm not exactly sure there's enough power behind this boat to get us out there. It's only got 4 300s on it. I would have went with 5. It's just me.
Yeah. Over the years of doing this show, there's always guys that you want to fish with again. And Kevin Beach was one of those guys. He's very sarcastic, very quick-witted.
It had been a bunch of years since I was able to fish with Jim. He's been sending me nudie pics of himself for so. Nah, I'm kidding.
just a super fun guy that you want to be on a boat with.
Mexican Gulf Fishing Company just has the name, you know, that when you think of big fish, when you think of big pelagics, down in Venice, Louisiana, that is the company that you're gonna go with, and Kevin Beach is the captain that you want putting you on the fish.
We promised this trip to Jameson several years ago. We felt like we owed Jameson because he's helped us out on a lot of trips, getting kayaks to different locations. So we really wanted him to be on a trip, not to be a second cameraman, not to be a kayak guy, but just to come fish with us.
I've never caught a tuna of any kind, much less a big yellowfin tuna, out of a kayak. I've never caught one out of a boat. You know, you see videos of people catching these big tuna, these yellowfin tuna and all this stuff, and number one, it's one of the best eating fish, the best eating fish in my opinion that there is, but number two, they're known for their power, they're known for their strength, they're nothing but just solid muscle and they don't give up. That's it right there. I want to do that, I want to learn how to do it and just see what it's like.
What's the plan today, Mr. Kevin?
Try not to kill ourselves.
Solid. Solid plan.
No, we got about a 15 knot breeze going right now. It's gonna be a little choppy out there. We're gonna left the kayaks at home, try and cast nets and pogies or menhaden and see if we can find us a tuna fish or 2 or 3 or 4, 7, 20 or whatever.
Gonna be a good day.
It's always a good day.
Well, we came out here and so we're just gonna do some boat fishing today. Actually kind of looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Right now we're just kind of scouting around looking see if we can find some bait. And then we're gonna go after some tuna.
All right, here we are, day 1. Well, it's a little choppy. We got typical Gulf weather. We don't get the real slow, one direction seas. We get this washer machine stuff. So we we ended up having to leave the kayaks. We had a rig called Who Dat. Uh-oh. I got a nervous bait right here. We just pulled up, literally just pulled up. Has 100-pound tunas. There it is.
There he goes. Move up.
Well, I'll finish in a minute. We're getting busy. All right, bud.
Seagar's Extreme Kayak Fishing Challenge is brought to you by Jackson Kayak. One family, many waters. Standard Horizon. Nothing takes to the water like Standard Horizon. Yak Attack. Make it yours. Seagar, the inventor and perfecter of fluorocarbon fishing lines and leaders. Shark Shield. Nothing is more effective.
So we just arrived out here on this spot, out on this rig, and as soon as we pulled up, we almost instantly got hooked up.
I'm hooked up to my first yellowfin tuna ever. It's a little bit strong.
A little choppier than we're used to in August, but the fish decided to share themselves. And I'm not talking one or two yellows. There was a pile. Didn't get the first bait all the way out, and it got crushed. That's what old Mr. Jameson's on right now. But you'll see one thing that we do that for us makes it a lot of fun. We keep on feeding them bait, see if we can double, triple. Put a little, get some chaos going on. We get our rocks off on chaos.
Fighting that fish straight down and just literally giving it everything you have to not only pull up on the rod, but then crank down with the other hand, and your lower back is just taking a beating. And I'm spent.
Oh, there's one in front. There's one in front.
Yeah, be back.
On me, man. Go.
Get up there, Brian.
Oh, he's not happy with that mustache in his mouth.
We're fishing right next to these oil rigs, and it's like a jet engine next to us.
There you go.
Talking to Brian and talking to Kevin and Parker, we decided to put some 80-pound fluorocarbon on there from Seagar, and quite a bit of it actually, about 15, 20 feet of fluorocarbon, and that way, and I could reel it right through the guide. And once I got them on that, I knew I had them.
Well, we're fishing
That's 100
blue water, so the water's really clear as well. So these fish can see regular monofilament. The fluorocarbon line is virtually invisible to the fish, so they don't see it, and you get bit better and you get bigger fish.
I mean, we're using 100-pound on here. Most other boats have been using 80, 60, and sometimes down to 50 of some lesser fluorocarbons, but the Seagar, we're able to use 100, put a lot more heat on the fish, get them in faster. They're gonna have better quality meat, a more enjoyable experience for everything except for this part of your back right here. That's the part that doesn't like the heavy tackle. Tell you what, that old man strength, you think you're a big tough guy, 20 years old, them old guys like that, they earned it. Way tougher than any of us. I won't tell him that to his face. We always got your back. Hey, that's like a little drama to end it.
Well, they were making fun of me for using too small of a rod on that fish. I guess they were right.
Gotcha.
Oh man, that was my favorite jigging rod. It was.
You know, definitely an undergun setup for a fish that big, but you can make a lot of drag with that reel. Super smooth. Had loaded with 80-pound Seagar thread lock braid, and then 80-pound Seagar Premier fluorocarbon to was about a 7/0 Mustad circle hook.
That's all I was using. I was using the waves.
You literally should train for this. It is a battle to get one of these big fish to the boat. I mean, my arm is sore, and now we gotta do it out of a kayak. I'm up for the challenge, but it's gonna be hard.
Good fun out here, man. Big fish. These fish are so incredibly strong. And I'm not used to fishing standing up in a boat. You know, I just fish so much more in the kayaks that standing up absolutely kills my back. So I had to get down on my knees and use the rail to help me. And my fish wasn't near as big as the one he caught. So, of course, he's 25 years younger than me.
You can do it! You can do it! You can do it, Jameson!
Attaboy, attaboy! Come on now! Act like you're not excited.
Awesome fishing out here with Mexican Gulf Fishing Company. These guys are so much fun to fish with. Yeah, we're not on our kayaks, we're having a blast with catching killer fish. You gotta get out here and fish with these guys.
Woo! How big was that, you figure, Beach? It's gonna be over 100. I mean, it's got long sickles, but I give it probably 110. I mean, wait a second, this is TV. It's gotta be at least 240, maybe 280. Nah, it's solid 110-pound fish, maybe a little more, depending on what's in its stomach. But we're gonna go ahead and brine these fish up, bleed them out real good, make sure there's as good a table fare as we can make them, and then give them a free ride back to the fish cleaning table in Venice.
Well, we got a good look at it yesterday. It was a little bit snotty, so we didn't bring the kayaks. But we still thought it might be doable, and then today it's laid down quite a bit, they say. So we're gonna take the kayaks out and try and get on those same big tuna that we got yesterday. This time do it the way we like to do it, and that's off the kayaks.
You gotta pick it up.
Ah, that's the trick. There we go.
Hold up. Here, hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let it back down. Can't be too careful, too safe.
We brought the kayaks out today. It's a little less choppy, current's a little stronger. Still got some waves, but not as much wind. But I think we can do it, or at least try to do it. I've never caught a fish this big, so I'm gonna rely on Jim quite a bit here because he knows what he's doing when it comes to big game, and I don't.
So today we've got the kayaks, old Jim and crew. We just deployed them. They've got their rods. They've got all their safety equipment, radios, life jackets, shark shield.
Jameson, you got a radio check?
Yeah. So they're gonna paddle out. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna just, I guess you call it a mothership type of operation. Always nice to have Big Brother watching.
The Shark Shield is a electronic shark deterrent. It sends out an electrical pulse that affects the ampullae of Lorenzini on the shark's nose, basically, which are electrical receptors. They don't like that electrical pulse in the water, and it keeps them away. I've seen it work. I've seen it in action. I'm a believer, so I've got it already deployed. It's ready in the water. If I hook a big fish when I'm getting ready to land it, I'll turn the Shark Shield on. That way I don't have to worry about a shark being near me as I'm dealing with the fish.
I got leader, guys.
The first fish of the day for me in the kayak. I have fought the thing. I finally got leader on the spool. And so I radio to the boat, hey, I've got color, I've got leader on the rod, come over and watch. And as soon as the boat pulls up, the fight just started. On the boat, you've got Kevin and his mate, Parker, which are so experienced. And they're walking us through, they have the best gear for the job. But in the kayak, it's just me. So the learning curve has got to be really quick. And I only was fishing 50-pound braid. So it was gonna be a job to get them in. And when I hooked that first fish, I realized I was in for the battle and I wasn't gonna give up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah!
Talk to me, Jim.
Got this guy right here, right there. There's a lot of grunting and groaning that goes on when you're fighting these fish. And we're not playing. I mean, these fish, I've always said it, you know, the reason I love saltwater is the potential of catching fish that physically hurt you. You know, and that's what they do. They physically hurt you. Your muscles are aching. So my arms are so freaking gassed. And they seem to have a really good talent. But right when they come up next to you, they go down. So just out of reach.
I mean, look, the big fish like that, the last 10 feet's always the hardest 10 feet of the whole fight. And he's learning that one firsthand right now.
We came out here yesterday to see what it was like. Came out here today, showed that we could do it on the kayaks. And it's done. It's all yours.
The new Coosa FD, the Coosa Flex Drive, the pedal drive kayak is out, and I've been really enjoying it over the past couple of weeks, past couple of months, just getting it out there and putting it through its paces and finding out where it's gonna be really handy for me. And this situation is probably where that Flex Drive is gonna shine the most. I can keep my hands on the rod, ready to engage the drag and get the hook in this fish and fight it the entire time without ever having to really touch a paddle. Being able to keep my hands free was a huge, huge advantage, and I believe this is literally the best kayak that we make for this situation.
Well, I'm on again. Stick around and see how it turns out after these messages.
Seagar's Extreme Kayak Fishing Challenge is brought to you by Jackson Kayak. One family, many waters. Standard Horizon. Nothing takes to the water like Standard Horizon. Yak Attack. Make it yours. Seagar, the inventor and perfecter of fluorocarbon fishing lines and leaders. Shark Shield. Nothing is more effective.
This one was different, man. He hit and ran straight out for a long way. I think the most important thing when you're fighting these fish like this, they will change direction on you, so keep that rod tip down. Don't do a whole lot of high sticking. If the fish changes direction on you, just keep that rod low and it'll push the boat around. I like having the lever drag reel. Starts to feel a little too tight, you can just back it off just a hair. You can really play with your drag settings. Button down when you need to. What? You got color?
I'll tell you what, fighting a tuna from a kayak is no joke. Probably could up the size of the rod a little bit. 50-pound braid, had Seagar 80-pound fluorocarbon leader on there, blue label. And I felt a lot more confident once I got it to the leader, but and every time I would get it on that leader, it would take back everything I had just earned and worked so hard for. Took a lot of line. And that was about a 70, 75 pounder. I can't imagine one of these 100, 130 pounders. I would definitely need a bigger rod and a little more gas in the tank. But man, the Mexican Gulf put us on them 2 days in a row. You can't beat that. I'm done, boys. You can have this. I got mine.
Brian from Seagar, he and I have been talking about, again, doing this trip for the last couple years, and It didn't come to fruition a couple of years ago, and so we started talking about it again last year at ICAST. And he really wanted to do it. I mean, he's like, we were talking about zero experience as a kayak angler, but he wanted to come and join us on a trip.
This is my first time going in a kayak, so I'm a little bit nervous, but also very excited to land a yellowfin from a kayak.
Ah! Strong fish. Whew, got him at collar now. It's right under my boat, but strong fish.
It's fun. I mean, when you grab that fish out, yeah, you grab a bass by its lip, you pull him out the water, and sometimes he shakes, sometimes he doesn't. When you grab a 100-pound fish by the lip, throw him on your lap by yourself, pretty cool feeling.
One of the highlights from the trip was watching Jim land that last yellowfin tuna. He battled that tuna, it seemed like forever, but he never gave up. He kept pushing, and finally landed that fish, and what a beautiful fish that was. And I know he was extremely excited to get that one to the boat.
Woo! Whoa!
Somebody give me a hand. Enough leverage. You won.
2 fish, and I'm done. But in the background, it is lightning, and there's thunder, there's rain. Looks like that we're gonna have to load up and head out. And I mean, what are you gonna do? We've had a great day. I wish Brian could have got on the fish for sure, because it literally is an experience of a lifetime. I know he's gonna get other chances, but I really hope I'm there to see it happen.
Just hooked up and he got off.
Today, you know, we had somewhat of a weather window to do it. Went out there, it was absolutely fabulous. Fishing the new kayaks with Brian from Seagar. Great trip, had a ball.
Well, thanks so much for joining us here in Venice, Louisiana. I hope you enjoyed the show. Believe me, if you ever want the chance to fish with some great guys and get on some great fish, visit the guys from Mexican Gulf Fishing Company. I promise you, you will not regret it.
I'd go 100.